least go a little bit fast. I'm all for going slow. At least you're getting on the highway. You know, I'm against that. If you're getting on the highway, zoom on that highway. Like, get on it. But you can slow down. These guys will end up going like 70 or 90 here in a minute. All of them. And, you know, they're just slowing down. You know, it's like, I guess they got on the highway. I guess that counts. Anyway, I think it's almost down right there. That's a really good one. Can't really see it, though. At least you're, yeah, you can a little bit. There it goes. And then it goes down there. Yeah. This guy's got every cable channel while he goes down the highway. He's watching like Showtime, HBO, old school Cinemax. Got the YouTube going on. He's got a big old antenna. He's talking to NASA. And he's just like getting all the signals right here. They pay him like, oh yeah, they pay him a lot of money. Monster offered me $800 a week to paint this entire car like a Monster truck. I mean, Monster can, like a Monster can for Monster, the energy drink. I'm gonna do it. It's $800 a week, and they just come in, they paint my car exactly like Monster. That's $800. All I have to do is do my regular routine throughout the day. I'll be advertising Monster. They just got in touch with me. I filled out the application. That's $800 a week. I said, hell yeah. And that guy's talking to Martians. You know, like Jack Nicholson bouncing radar beams off the moon. This guy's doing right here. It's like he's a slacker right here. He knows Richard Linklater. Richard Linklater like emailed him and said, hey, you're going to put an antenna on your car and go by Hebron. And we're looking for Martians, UFO sightings. You're basically gonna antenna all this stuff, right? For all kinds of Martians, different planets. NASA's working with this guy. He's got a weird license plate. And he has to strap it to the car like that. He picks up real good radio. He's got all the radio stations and cable channels in America, and he's just a driving FBI, big time CIA, probably like spying on all these people. No, he's broadcasting a radio station from his Corolla. It's a Corolla. Finally got that radio station down. He's trying to pick it up for, it's an AM channel. This is a AM channel that is trying to pick up. Finally got it. Yeah, he's rolling. Hey, if you're gonna get a radio station, you want to make sure it's clear. You know, you don't want any static at all. You know. That's the kind of antenna I'm gonna go out and get on Amazon. It's the only antenna to get, really. And if you're gonna miss out on radio, you know, like right here, you want to be able to pick up every single signal, and then you might as well just throw a satellite on top of it. Big satellite, have satellite television, a little TV right here, satellite television with all the radio that you can handle. It's not a bad idea. Amazon sells it for like $100. You get like, that's a Wii booster right there, man. You're not gonna miss a you're gonna have high-speed 5G hyper internet so fast that the car starts to shake whenever you turn it on. You know, you start time traveling. It looks like DD moved up a little bit to the new app. It's probably better than Postmates, or it's probably on the level of Postmates. Postmates is a good app. It's just, they'll take you 20 miles out of the way. DD keeps you relatively in the air. DD may be more of the ideal one. Uber Eats is a little crazy, and they can get you assaulted. So you want to stay away from Uber. A lot of Uber drivers, either they get hurt seriously to do assault, and I mean like, it's because the guy who runs Ubers, he's mean. He's a mean guy. But Didi's smart. Food for Friends is in development. If it'll ever happen, that one would do. You'd never pay a driver under $10 for each delivery for Food for Friends. It'd be like if they're going to ask you to do anything, it's going to be $10 or higher. And they're getting Didi's getting a little bit better. But anyway, he's like all Lou Reed, and he goes, "Well, hey, if you're gonna like go out there and write a play, and that would, it would be, he's making a point. He goes, that would be like writing a play starring Mark David Chapman." Because he was talking about the assassination of John Lennon. At that moment, I was writing a play about that. Now, there was a book called Let Me Take You Down, which I checked out, and I can prove that I checked it out at Fort Worth Library. Okay? Fort Worth Library has records of whoever takes, a book out or checks a book out or whatever. Well, I checked Let Me Take You Down out, and I began the play, Chapter 27, which was in a storage unit near the New School University. Probably 2002 is when I left that storage unit. Everything, including the guitar, an old guitar, I think it was a Martin even, all of that stuff was stolen from me out of that storage unit, including the journals from the New School. I had made notes about movie stars, all kinds of stuff that was kept in that journal, including Chapter 27, which Jared Leto and his producers did against my will. So that movie belongs to me, and I have witnesses. Yes, it does, because you cannot take a play and turn it into a movie without permission from the playwright. It's illegal. Tennessee Williams could have sued anybody that turned Streetcar Named Desire into a movie, including Elia Kazan. What's his name? Elia Kazan. Elia Kazan turned Streetcar Named Desire into a movie with the permission of Tennessee Williams. He had to ask Tennessee Williams permission. Ask me permission. Say, can I turn Chapter 27 into a movie?
Can you turn Chapter 27 into a movie?
Not without paying me $1 million. Because I'm the writer of Chapter 27. Okay? I'm the playwright.
Okay. I know you like the number 7, right?
Chapter 27 is the 27th chapter.
Come on.
That Holden Caulfield.
Why is it 27?
Because the Chapter 26.
27?
Well, Chapter 26. No, they also stole dialogue from Paul Schrader too, from Taxi Driver. But listen, Chapter 27. There was only 26 chapters in Holden Caulfield's masterpiece, The Catcher in the Rye. Okay. When Mark David Chapman went to go murder, and Jared Leto didn't know any of this, but when Mark David Chapman went to go murder John Lennon, on his mind was Holden Caulfield, a character in Salinger's book, J.D. Salinger's book, Chapter 27, which I've read all Chapter 26 of The Catcher in the Rye. He manipulated that and created a Chapter 27 in his head. He left out a postcard of The Wizard of Oz. He left all these things out in the hotel room, and then he marched over the Dakota.
So you're
he signed out of work as John Lennon. He planned to kill John Lennon, but he thought he was Holden Caulfield. He thought he had created in his mind.
So you're upset that the book didn't end the way it wanted to.
No, I wrote a play called Chapter 27, written by Cole Spivey. That play was stolen from me from a storage unit and turned into a movie with another writer's. They used an alias writer that doesn't write anything. That writer that wrote Chapter 27, he doesn't write anything. It was an alias writer. They changed that writer's name from my name, took all the money, and they stole all over a stupid pea coat because I didn't want to freeze to death. Because this lady that was a professor out in Long Beach did not send me my coat, so I had to take a coat, which is a pea coat. So they see it as a balance. Like I took an Armani pea coat and they took my play.
But you met a good girlfriend out there in Long Beach.
Right. She's a professor of literature. She knows I wrote it. Rob Vasquez knows I wrote it. I have witnesses that they know I wrote that play. That was supposed to be a staged play first. Then it was supposed to be turned into a movie.
Well, God has
so
reasoning.
They lied. They lied. They lied. No, well, yeah, he stole it. God stole it. But see, they think they can do whatever they want. But so with Tennessee Williams, if they were going to do Streetcar Named Desire, or if they were going to do Glass Menagerie, or any kind of movie, they'd have to ask him permission. Stephen King writes a book. They have to ask him permission. Right? I wrote the play, Chapter 27. I wrote it with these hands right here. I wrote that play. And it has scenes of it in Florida. It's a stage play. There's scenes set in Florida where the first time he dropped LSD, the Mark David Chapman dropped LSD in Florida. It was in Florida. Jared Leto doesn't know this, okay? The writers of that don't even know that. He lived in Florida for a while. Mark David Chapman did. Before, he wasn't just from Hawaii. He was only in Hawaii temporarily. He was a security guard in Hawaii. He signed out as John Lennon from Hawaii. I think that's in the play,
Is
too.
he still in the band? Maybe we should go to his...
Nah, they just steal. Jared Leto's a thief. They just steal from people and laugh. They laugh at the writers. And they owe me a lot of money. A lot of money. But they'll continue stealing. But they're not going to steal the werewolf movie. Not Grace. Because I didn't have this device right here. Right here. Hi. Hi, I'm the writer of Chapter 27.
Oh, yeah. He developed an interest in filmmaking and transferred to the School of Visual Arts in New York City.
Who did?
Jared Leto.
Yeah, because he's a thief. He's a thief. So I went into Marnie after I found out that Professor Witch wasn't going to send me my pea coat. I went in, walked in, and I took this right here. So they stole my play as a balancing act. Right here. It's mine. Because when you say you're going to do something, you better do it, or I'll take it from you. You understand? Come and get it. You know what you're going to hear at the door? Right there, baby. It's Armani. Beautiful. Right? You're going to have this stupid play. Cheat. You and Ellen Bernstein are crazy. Hollywood embargo, baby.
Are you talking about the Olympics?
Yeah, I'm talking about...
You want to hear what I heard today?
I'm talking about... Okay, wait. Hong Kong is China. Japan... Tokyo's Japan, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So I was getting my car inspected this morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they showed the opening ceremony of the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of missed how many people, but I got to see them with their cell phones up, right? And the guy next to me, you know, his wife had been paying attention to the car, so he had to get inspected, right? Piece of crap, little Odyssey, little SUV, right? So he starts bragging about his kid. Oh, no, he bragged that he's been to Hong Kong. It's beautiful. A lot of people said Hong Kong's beautiful. I was like, oh, do you have any children? He's like, yeah. I was like, what's your oldest? 42? He's like, older than that. So I assume, oh, he's a chef over here at UTD. Oh, and then my daughter is dating a surgeon in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. You know, just sitting around and they're just like bragging about their kids and stuff. Well, good for you. Obviously, y'all had money in her family. Just like, yeah, disgusting. Just sitting there. Yeah. Like he's better than me. I heard Hong Kong's really pretty, so. Oh, and guess what? His last name was Smith, so when he got up, I'm like, that's a common name.
Yeah, it is a common name.
I don't want to be. It's like, man, you know, and then he says he works all over the world and stuff like that. I was like, damn, give me some of your money. That's what I felt.
You're talking about Smith?
The guy at the freaking place to get my car inspected.
Oh, okay.
Bragging about his children. Oh, my daughter, she's in Minnesota. Her husband's a surgeon.
People will do
Her
that.
husband's a surgeon.
People will do
my
that.
My son is a chef over here at the college.
People do that.
And then his third kid, he mentioned his third kid, and he was kind of a little iffy about that. He's like, you get it worse from him. Like, he's kind of iffy about it, but that's what he likes to do. Seemed like he was like, not high and proud of his third kid. But still,
Yeah, I'll probably let Jared Leto have Chapter 27. That's fine. As long as he pays it forward, gives it to someone important, that's fine. If they want to steal, they can steal. The Pink Journal was there. Yeah, maybe it was coincidence. I don't know. I'm sure it was coincidence. I'm sure they got the same idea to write Chapter 27 at the same time I did. So let's look it up. I want to look it up. So when someone comes to my house and steals my crap, you know what I do? I punch him. They gave Chapter 27 to an Air Force guy who doesn't write script. I'll tell you what. You take that Air Force guy who's probably probably drunk out of his mind nonstop. You take him, you put him in a room. Say, hey, Mr. Schaefer guy, Jared Schaefer, write your screenplay. And you put me in my room, and I write my screenplay. Who's going to be the one that's writing? I'm going to be writing. I'm going to be one writing. Shepard doesn't write. He was an Air Force brat. They just gave him the money. He didn't write it. He didn't write anything. He's never written another screenplay his entire life. They lied. Because he was in the Air Force. They gave it to some guy in the Air Force who's in the Air Force. Just because you're in the Air Force, you drunk, does not give you the right to come to my house and steal my family. Right? When you steal my ideas and everything so I can provide for my family. Steve Jobs, what do he use? He used a pencil. He wrote down on a pencil. They go, yes, Steve Jobs, you invented the iPhone. You know why? Because Steve Jobs invented the iPhone. He was part of Apple. It's like $40 trillion, right? His industry. So they said, yeah, Steve Jobs, you did it. Steve Jobs, you were the one that did it. You came up with that idea. Same thing with Chapter 27. They know Steve Jobs came up with Apple, and they know that Cole Spivey wrote Chapter 27, and that money is going to be put in my account through my PayPal. If you don't, then we're going to have people sent to New York City, and we're going to take the money manually. What that means is that we're going to be breaking thumbs and breaking faces in New York City. That money goes in my PayPal as of tomorrow, or we're going to take it from you, New York City, and Jared Leto. That money goes into my PayPal. You don't come into my house and take my stuff. Ever. You're going to hear a little, right? Y'all know what happened in 9/11? Y'all were like, I'm dying. Oh, whoa. Splat, right? Splat. Burn it, I'm burning, it burns. Right? That's what happens when you mess with the Messiah and his people. You're going to starve me. Yeah, you pretended. You pretended, right? You were a millionaire when you were doing Requiem. You were a millionaire when you were doing Chapter 27. A millionaire. You were a billionaire, nearly. You had $100 million when you stole Chapter 27 from me. When you stole it from me, you were already a millionaire. You put that money in my PayPal right now. Grow up, be a man, put the money in my PayPal. I have 3 children, I have a family to feed. Put my money in my PayPal. Because I'm the writer of Chapter 27. If you take that money, you are a thief. I'll see you in court and I'll put you in prison. You understand? You do not come in my house. You don't take my property. You don't go in my storage units, and you don't steal my journal. That pink journal is mine. I want it back when it mailed to me. You sent your people to steal an idea from me. I don't care if the guy was in the Air Force. The guy in the Air Force, he can go back to the Air Force. The guy didn't write anything. He hadn't written anything his whole life. Sundance, bullcrap. I wrote it. That is my artwork.
No, it's not.
You think I found that in the trash? That's actually my artwork.
All right, whatever, because you found it.
It's basically trash, but
Trash number.
why is it trash? There's got to be a reason. Explain why it's trash.
No.
Just kind of show me why it's trash. Oh! You don't want to do that.
What?
Right there.
Oh shit! That's what I was thinking.
I know. They both ran underneath the canvas. Be careful with these. They attract. You can see both of them right here.
Oh gosh, is it on me? Look.
Well, don't just pick it up like that.
I'm sorry. Help me out!
I don't think it's on your hands for a second. Those are actually they're poisonous. The reason why you can tell is because how slender their bodies are actually. You can tell by the body if it's poisonous, and it's because of how it's well, you have arachnophobia, but it's actually you can see a lot of them. Usually there's always a spider somewhere about 6 feet from you at all times anywhere in the world. About 10 feet from you anywhere you go. They're in there over here too. You gotta be careful. But the bigger ones are really scary. Yeah, it's really scary. Yeah, so the spiders.
Pay attention to me.
Okay, it's not your hair. You're fine. The spiders will look kind of aerodynamic. So if they look kind of like think of Spider-Man. So if they're plump and round and thick, then that usually means they're not poisonous. But if they're aerodynamic looking and very kind of aerodynamic, then they can be poisonous. So are writers. So I was sitting there on the side of the, I was sitting on the couch, and it would look like just like a beetle. It had little horns. It was about that big or so, and it was chomping its little things at me, and I thumped it, just went just like that, and went flying across the room. Have you ever seen a beetle like that?
Yes, I have.
Go like this. Go like this. Go. No, just like a werewolf. Go. No.
I do what I want to say.
Yeah, just like a werewolf. There's the funky pond up that way. It's a little tiny pond, but it's funky during the daylight. Kind of like the, what's that called? The Bates Motel? That movie, Psycho, right? Psycho with Anthony Perkins. It's right in there, somewhere in there. There's a funky pond. Oh my gosh, they actually hit the sign. This is amazing. They knocked down the Louisville sign. They just ran right into it. I think the cops showed up yet. I don't know. They just ran right into the Louisville sign. That is incredible.
Yeah, there's a bad one.
You don't just make a mistake like that, though. That's not even this is not even a busy road, really. You just run right into the sign.
Maybe somebody changed their oil or changed their brakes or
took out the brakes. Nah, that was a brand new car. You don't just go right into the median. And if you're trying to get the QT or anything, you'd have to be seriously drunk to run a car on the middle of the median.
That's pretty bad.
That's horribly bad.
That's new.
You'd have to be disgustingly drunk to do that. Like, you hit a curb over there. That's just a curb. That lady didn't hit the curb. She went over the median right into the Louisville sign. Huh?
How do you know it's a she?
Because I saw the driver. I've got 20/20 vision. Well, it's close to 20/20 vision. Very close.
Yeah, how do you know it's not the friend? Maybe the person's still stuck in the car. You don't know everything.
No, that was the driver. I could tell it was a female driver. She was standing out in front of the car. You know what's weird is that happened in the gate, on the side gate. But they ran the car on the side gate, and then when the cops showed up, they gave them like a, what's that called? The sobriety test. But they were standing there right by the gate, at the front of where the apartments were. They just ran the car through the gates, almost into where on the other side of that gate, there's actually patios where people like barbecue, all kinds of stuff. But his car was right in the middle of that gate. The gate was completely knocked down. If he would have went a few more feet, he would have probably killed somebody or even went into those apartments.
Maybe there was a dog or a squirrel in the middle of the road, and they
maybe. But the only thing is that he had to go over the curb, through the fence. And when I went there, they were making him walk the line, huh? No, he was drunk. He was high, or you don't.
My first car
go right
accident,
down.
There was 13. I was 18 years old. They say most accidents happen 5 miles within your house. There was 18 different streets. Every street had a street, but one street in the middle had a fence. And then my car, I got impatient. I was 18. I just started driving for about 6 months, trying to go around a car, SUV. And then my car landed into a lawn. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Every other street had lawns, but this one had a fence. And I was 2 inches from the fence.
Wow.
So for 1 year, you could see my tire skids.
Dallas is pretty crazy.
No, they're supposed to plan it.
There was another wreck.
18.
One time when I was delivering, okay?
So I could have hit that fence. But at least I didn't hit a house. So I'm just saying, you just don't sit here and drive.
I was doing a drop-off, and I was in the middle of a neighborhood, right? Actually, this is rideshare. I was doing rideshare. I was in the middle of the neighborhood, going in the backside of Dallas in the middle of, like a normal neighborhood. The car was upside down completely. The wheels were still moving. The people were out of the car. The car was upside down. It was one of those not vans, but it was like a, you know what I think it was?
Bronco.
It was like a Soul, like a Kia Soul kind of thing. But it was like similar to that, like SUV or whatever. It was upside down. It was like a Jeep kind of thing. I don't know for sure if it was a Kia Soul. They don't flip over, but it was like something tall enough, kind of like those square cars. It was a square car. You ever see those square cars?
Yeah,
The Cube. It was the Cube. It was like the Cube.
The Cube. The Cube.
It was upside down, completely. You can't really see it through that right there. Well, you can kind of tell that it's a moon. Doesn't really have. Oh, these are nice. Discounted salmon?
Please.
Oh.
For once. Put that down. That's $49.99. That out. Baby fellas. Alright, so anyways, you got your video.
Oh, it's roses. What if like a 0.5 of a nickel?
$79.
It's like a little bit of roses.
Yeah. My antibiotics. So time to celebrate.
Trying to celebrate the antibiotics.
What are you gonna say? Watch out, this lady.